What is going on, all of you professional gamers and casual gamers out there in the world? I am MegaAmpster. Welcome to the channel here. If you're new here, great to see you. Returning viewers, always great to see you here. Thank you for all the support over time. I am here with chat live. Say hello, chat. We've got a few people, currently Netto and King Spart, as far as I can tell, in the live chat. This was part of a live stream I did with F099 previously, and I'm just going to upload this as a separate video to the channel. We are here because of little poll I did on the channel. I had some video ideas. I did another one of those video idea polls. It's been about a month at this point. I know with being on vacation, I kind of didn't get to it immediately. But currently, when I last checked, which was earlier today, my backlog review video was tied in the lead. Figured I had the setup ready to go first, so we'll do that. Essentially, this whole idea is me, because I recently moved to a new apartment. I had all my physical games packed away in boxes and stuff. And as I was unpacking them, I was like, you know what? It's been a while since I've taken a good look at my backlog and made sure all the games are still accurate. If I've added new games to my backlog, because with sales and stuff, that always happens, right? And yeah, I reorganized all the lists. I kind of changed it up a little bit. So technically, and this is going to sound intimidating, I have 3 different lists. They're not all backlog though. Let me explain. This one right here, we're going to go through this in a bit. This is the backlog list, the actual backlog, which for me are games that almost all of these I bought with money, some of them including collections and stuff, where I feel like I really haven't gotten my money's worth out of the game. I haven't put enough time into the game. You know, those are the games that are going to be on this list. Usually games that I'll get for free, free codes, or Epic Games occasionally does those free games on their store. Games like that I won't put on here usually, unless it's a game I really want to play. I'll prioritize it by putting it on this list. That'll be in another list, which will just, what did I call it? I think I called it games to complete. I think I called it. Those are also games that either A, I got for free, or didn't feel like I had to fully play through it. But I want to eventually, or B, games that I've attempted to play, have put a good amount of time into, to where I'm it doesn't have to be in the backlog, but I still haven't fully beaten it. I feel like I haven't gotten that full sense of completion from. That's a whole separate list. And the third list are games that I actually have beaten. Those are the games that I'm done with. I've beaten them. I don't have this sense of needing to complete it anymore, Epic Games does free games every week, Netto. Wow, I didn't realize that. I guess I only did it for there was, I don't know if it was the holiday season last year or something. There was one point where they did it for every day for maybe a week or so. And I think I got Shenmue 3 for free. I'll have to check. But anyways, let's go through here. I'm not going to go through every single one of these games because there's just too many, you'll see. But certain ones I'll point out. So also, one thing to keep in mind is that I'm a very indecisive person. So the placement of these is all randomly decided. I literally will just pull up a random number generator, copy and paste into different slots on this list. So there's no order to the games here. There's no ranked list. This is an order of my priority. Hey, thank you, King Sparta, for subscribing. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Also, thank you for testing out the YouTube sub alerts working. Holidays usually are okay, I see. Everyday free games for holidays. Thank you, Netto. I appreciate that. All right, let's go through here. So we got the Switch. I've got, how many? 30 games on my backlog here for the Switch. Let's go through some of the highlights here. So a bunch of the Castlevania games from the Anniversary Collection. Super Castlevania 4 is the one I really want to get to at some point relatively soon. That's my first priority in terms of Castlevania. Jet Set Ready. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That was the I've slowed it down, the YouTube alert there. Same thing with the Mega Man Zero collection. I did try playing Zero a little bit ago, last year. Was that last year? That was early last year. I didn't fully beat it. I got through most of it. I don't think I could beat one of the final bosses. But I haven't tried any other games yet, so there's that. Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. Yeah, that would have been great if they had a character like that in that game. Fire Emblem Three Houses is another one I've been meaning to play because I hear really good things about it. And I really like the characters and story of Fire Emblem games specifically. So I would really like to play that sooner rather than later. What else we got? Okami's another one I really want to get to. Ghost Trick as well. Samba de Amigo. I mean, you probably saw the live stream I did if you've paid attention to this channel. I have played it a little bit outside of that stream, but I haven't fully beaten it yet. So I'm kind of, this little icon here is my tell to myself that I'm currently playing this one. So last I know, Persona 5, man. I just gotta find the freaking time. It's one of those games that because I like to play at least enough new and old games in a year to be like, okay, I feel like I'm satisfied. I've experienced enough games this year. Now let me go into the 200-hour game at the end of the year. You know what I mean? But then Tears of the Kingdom was already that game for me this year as of this recording. So it's like tough to balance. Three Houses is really good, Neto says. Gonna have 3 stories in that game. Honestly, I feel like I would do just one for now and then like put it off my backlog and put it on the other list or something, you know? Like the characters, Sothis, Byleth, and Ilgard, cool. I feel like I'm gonna go Blue Lions. We'll see. My boy, was it Dimitri? Is that his name? What's his name? Yeah, Dimitri, right? The blonde dude? Persona 5 is also on your backlog. I feel like it's probably on a lot of gamers' backlog. It's just so long, man. Mega Man 11's on there. Oh, wrong way. Okay, Advance Wars. Ah, this is so tough. I mentioned this on streams before. I maybe got through a third of the way through Advance Wars 1 in this collection. It just came out at such a bad time. It was literally like 2 weeks before Tears of the Kingdom, and then like being on vacation and stuff, so many other games coming out, Bomber, Cyberpunk, Samba de Amigo. So like before Bomber Cyberpunk came out, I played a little bit of it. I got it like a third of the way through. It was tricky. I've never played Advance Wars before, so I definitely struggled a lot and then impeded my progress. And then between those other 2 games and going on vacation, I kind of don't really have the motivation to pick it up again now. So unfortunately, I don't think that I'm going to really consider that for my games of the year for this year. I just can't motivate myself to play it right now. Dimitri's Blue Line. Okay, cool. Thanks for confirming. Tales Adventures. That's in Sonic Origins Plus. Persona 4 Golden. Kind of a similar situation to Persona 5, but I honestly, because I've played Persona 5 Strikers, and I really like that game, and I really like the characters of Persona 5 specifically. So I want to prioritize 5 over 4, even though I've heard from a lot of Persona fans that 4 is maybe the better one. But I really want to play 5, but it's so long, so it's tough. Hollow Knight, I know, that's also a big no-no on my list, so there you go. There are the Switch ones. Frontiers Update 3 is coming out. Couple of days. No, I thought it was September 28th. I'll double check after the video, but I'm pretty sure it was later. Sons of Liberty, Snake Eater's coming back. Oh, cool, okay. All right, anyways, that is the Switch. Series X, how many I got? 19, not as bad here. We mentioned this earlier in stream, Neto, but Mortal Kombat 11. Oh, sorry, you're talking about, yeah, Metal Gear Solid 2. Yeah, those were this and 3. I did try to play Solid 3 a while ago, but these were the, I bought the Xbox 360 collection, which unfortunately did not come with Peace Walker, which I think was on like the PlayStation version. Just Solid 2 and 3, and then like the NES games or whatever. But like, I do want to get to Metal Gear Solid at some point. What else we got? Some Kingdom Hearts games. I've only tried to play 1. Tunic is so high up on my priority list for games to play. I've heard nothing but great things about it. It looks amazing. I really want to try it. Yakuza 0, kind of same thing. Devil May Cry 3, if you're paying attention to the channel, we might get to that one pretty soon. Probably tomorrow as of this recording. And then Street Fighter 6, currently in progress. This little red icon here is to mark that I'm currently streaming it. So there's that. Mortal Kombat 11, you could probably beat the story in like 6 hours. Yeah, it's true, but I want to do more than just the story. You know, do like the crypt mode and stuff like that. The remake of Snake Eater. Oh, yeah, you mean Delta. Yeah. That was a state of play before Gamescom, I think. But yeah, no, this is just like the HD version that was released in like the Xbox 360, PS3 era. And oh yeah, and Shenmue. One of these days I will get to Shenmue. I also have Shenmue 2 on here as well. So they're the Series X games. Street Fighter 6? Great question, because I've really only been doing World Tour mode, as Neto knows. I mean, I really like... Who do I like? I mean, I love DJ. DJ's great. I really like Cammy as well. I think just for the vibes, I'd probably be a DJ man. Asking, you're going to replay Frontiers Update 3? Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure, Rise of Dragon Soul. I'll do a separate stream for Frontiers Update 3 when it comes out, but I think it's a couple weeks from now. Week and a half. All right, Steam Deck / PC, this is the big one. And this is because of all those stupid Steam sales over the years. Look at all these. 53, it's a lot. All right, let's go through these a little bit at a time. Don't want to spend forever on this, like I said, but notice only Bubsy 2's on this list, not Bubsy 1. I suffered through Bubsy 1 a few years back during lockdown, actually, with the pandemic, and man, probably the worst choice for a lockdown game I could think of. It was pretty bad. Don't talk to me about Bad Rats. The less said about Bad Rats, the better. I shouldn't have included on the backlog. A bunch of old Tomb Raider games. I bought a lot of them on sale years ago. I did try to play the original this game this year. I didn't fully beat it. Got about halfway through. Streets of Rage, all those games. Gex, which I did buy on Good Old Games. So I would like to try the first one, the 2D one, not 2 or 3. Keeping your old save Frontiers Update 3. Nice. Yeah, definitely. Might as well, yeah. Desolation Tale? Yeah, Desolation Tale. Let me scroll down to where that was. Rayman 2, Rayman 3 is on here as well. I bought those on Good Old Games. Actually, not that long ago. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. I do want to play that game at some point. Maybe a stream. We'll see. Yeah, so Desolation Tale, because I bought that a long time ago because a favorite YouTuber of mine, some call me Johnny, he reviewed it for like an indie marathon at one point, and it looked really cool. Still really haven't tried it yet, so that's why it's there. She would not be Cammy without the classic costume. I don't know. I think Cammy's new costume looks cool. Grim Fandango. I know that's a classic. Tekken 7. There's my Tekken. I still haven't played it much at all. Final Fantasy 7 Remake, man. This is one of those ones that I really want to play, and I finally bought it when it came to Steam. The issue is I've only put about like 10 hours into Final Fantasy 7. So I would like to play the original first. At least that's what I've been recommended. Nights into Dreams, there you go. Tembo the Badass Elephant, that's actually, I played a tiny bit of that. That's a Game Freak game who obviously do Pokemon, so. You got this game on sale as well, you played and fell in love with it. Nice! Well, then I have something to look forward to when I get to it eventually. Brutal Legend, classic Double Fine. Right up my alley there. A couple of the God Eater games, I've wanted to get into those. Fight Crab, of course. Very important game to get into. I've played a little bit of that. It's really funny. Killer 7 is probably the next Suda 51 game I really want to dive into. You know, because that one just looks kind of fun. The vibes there. I've seen some of the memes and stuff. So I want to check that out. Space Channel 5 and the classic Sega game. There's Injustice. I've been meaning to play Injustice for so long. Still haven't picked up the second one because I haven't played the first one, right? So one of these days. Yeah, I think for me that's kind of the highlights for the Steam one, but whereas Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, Pinata, you jumped in at a great time. I do not own that game and I never will, so it is not on any of these lists. Final Fantasy VII originally played on Switch. Nice, great platform for it. Yeah, I would, sooner rather than later, I want to replay it on Steam Deck. Only backlog you have is this. Mario Wonder, Sonic Superstars. Oh, true, and they're not even out yet. Hey, honestly, more power to you, King Sparta. That's impressive. Would you accept? No. I would not accept it if you send me a copy. Sorry, Pinata. I wouldn't actively send it back. Or it would go in the trash. I'm so sorry. Anyways, maybe not the trash. It's a little harsh. Here we go. This is not the new Spider-Man 2. Do not think that is. You know what? Let me specify here. This is actually... Yeah. Yeah, okay. It is the Xbox version. Shout out to Brandon, friend of the channel, for... He gave me that for my birthday, I think. So shout out to Brandon, friend of the channel. I like to group these together. So we got like Wii U, the Wii, the 360, the Xbox, Dreamcast, and GameCube. Because a lot of these are not like... I don't have a ton for this list. And I just kind of combine them all in one. Like the old, like, Legacy. I know Wii U's not Legacy, really, but you know what I mean. Zero Gravity is short, still fun. Yeah, I've been meaning to get to Sonic Ride to Zero Gravity for a bit. Injustice is a short game. You focus on story mode. I probably would, so... You don't want the sealed copy autographed by JonTron? Definitely not by JonTron. Been waiting for these games to drop. You don't know which one you're going to play? Yeah, no, it definitely should be interesting. Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm choosing Superstars over Wonder just because of the timing, but Princess Peach's Showtime looks great. No, I'm not getting the PS5. To specify, this is the OG, like, Xbox Spider-Man 2. With the pizza theme and everything, that's what that is. Metroid Other M, like, I know it's not a good game. I bought it maybe a year ago at an old game shop. I'm still going to play it as a big Metroid fan. Mario Sunshine I actually got very recently on GameCube, so that would be a good stream game, wouldn't it? Probably painful, but I think it'd be a good stream game. We'll see. And then Tropical Freeze. I know I already mentioned this earlier on. This is one that I just really dropped the ball on a little bit. This is one I played Returns. I've played all the other country games now. It's just Tropical Freeze, and I've heard that's like the best one. So, DK64, another one. Pikmin 3, the only Pikmin game I own, but I will check it out at some point. And if I like it enough, I'll probably try the other games. And then Sonic Unleashed for the Wii. I've played the 360 version, but I counted that separately because it's, from what I've seen, it's kind of a different game entirely. But no worries, King Sparta. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you being here. Enjoy the rest of your day. You played Mario Sunshine in the collection. Nice. See, I would have bought the 3D All-Stars collection, but I've already played 64 and Galaxy separately. I couldn't justify spending $60 just for Sunshine. But anyways, that is that group. Let's move on to these, the handhelds I grouped together as well, besides like Switch and Steam Deck. So 3DS, DS, and Game Boy Advance. Mega Man and Bass, man. I tried many years ago in college, and that game sucks. One day I will put more time into it. Pokemon Y. I've got a couple Pokemon games on here. I still have not played Gen 2 to this day. So Pokemon Crystal I have on the 3DS Virtual Console. Still have not played that, but I've heard great things about it. I love Gen 1, so maybe I'll check it out. Oh, this is a typo. Entranced on the Game Boy Advance for Crash I've heard is very fun. So one day I'll check that out. To be honest, Dragon Quest is the only Dragon Quest game I own too. I've just heard very good things, and I wanted to snag that before the eShop went down. What was that, about a year ago? A little over a year ago. The highest priority one for me here now is probably Ace Attorney. Because I played 4. I played Apollo Justice about a year and a half ago, and I do want to get to the next one and do Dual Destinies. Then eventually I'll do Spirit of Justice, and then probably the Professor Layton crossover. Never played Galaxy before the collection? You played 64 a lot of times, but... Oh, cool, okay. Never finished Deal the Switch? Glad to hear it, Neto. Let me know in the chat what your thoughts were on the games. But anyways, that's kind of small grouping here, but some games that I'll get to. Some Crash handheld and Spyro handheld as well, so heard decent things about some of them. Not Purple, I know, but some of the other ones I've heard good things about. Anyways, last group here. Oh, I don't want to spoil anything. So when it comes to the Nintendo Switch Online, I like to group those separately. These are just games that I bought on like previous virtual consoles and that are available on the NSO. So for example, like Minish Cap, I bought on the Wii U Virtual Console before the shop closed down because at that point we didn't know that Game Boy Advance was coming to NSO, right? But now that it's on NSO, like I'm gonna play it there because I'd rather play handheld on Switch than the gamepad, you know what I mean? So that's why these are here. Same thing with Oracle of Ages. I've played Seasons, not Ages yet. I've debated about when I do play Ages, maybe I'll replay Seasons because I know they connect. You can enter a code that connects them somehow. I think it might just be for like a cutscene or something, so it might not be fully worth it. But there is that. And then, yeah, Streets Rage 2, Gunstar Heroes, and Kid Icarus. So those are the 5 there. But total, I added all these up. I have 134 games on this list. So these are games, like I said, to reiterate, that I feel like I haven't really gotten my money's worth out of, that I really haven't fully put a ton of time into, or invested enough time to where I feel like I've put a good effort. You know, because, we'll see here, don't want to spoil a later video. Here is my second list. So this is the games to complete list. Like I mentioned previously, this is like games that I've put plenty of time into. Like I feel like I've done enough time and I can kind of move on to something else, but I still never fully beat. That's what this list is. Mario 64 is one of the best games ever. I agree. Galaxy's fun as hell, yep, but didn't stick with you as much. That's fair. I liked it, but yeah, I think I prefer 64 personally. Oracle game codes can give items from one game to another, but nothing meaningful. Okay, then maybe I'll just end up doing Ages separately, then it might not be worth connecting. All right, so in terms of games to complete, here we go. The Switch. I mentioned earlier Mega Man Zero. I never fully beat that game, so that's why it's here. Mega Man X6, terrible game. Never fully beat it. It's the only X game I have not fully completed. And then some of the Castlevania games. I can never beat Death in the original Castlevania. I still have not to this day. And then Castlevania 3, I probably got like halfway through. A lot of these are games that are like on Origins Plus that I played previously and just never fully beat. Monster Hunter Rise. I never fully beat all the quests in that game, so that's why it's here. Which Castlevania is that? This is just the original. This is the OG Castlevania. Yes. And then this one's Castlevania 3. I can never beat Death in the original Neto. Never could do it. Pretty simple list. There you go. These ones are pretty short, so Series X. Kingdom Hearts, I mentioned I tried to play for the first time last year. I got to the giant Ursula fight, and I could not beat it however much I tried. So put that one down, hey! And then I put these games here because I don't care. I'm not putting those in the backlog. Some games that like I know I'm not really going to play much at all, or like I just don't care enough, I put them on this list instead of the actual backlog. Elden Ring, Pinata knows. Pinata knows. I streamed that game for, what was it? Like 2 to 3 hours last year, and that was it. Never played anymore. It just didn't click with me. Just didn't click with me, you know? I had to include it on this list because I technically have not even come close to completing it. So it is there. And then Mega Man 9, I could not beat the final boss. I came so close. I could not beat the final boss against Dr. Wily. I tried so many times. So I almost could have put it on the completed games list, but I was just so close. You got a keyplate tattooed in your arm. That's very cool, Neto. I like that. And a Triforce combined. That's sick. That's super cool. All right. Steam Deck / PC. There's going to be a lot of them here. We've got 37. That's a good amount. So some of these games I got for free, like Payday the Heist. You see Final Fantasy VII. I've technically put a good chunk of time into, so that's why it's not on the backlog, but I might prioritize this game. Shadow of Mordor I played for the first time. What? Oh, crap. When was that? Was that 2 years ago? And I got a good amount of the way through, and I really enjoyed my time, but I just never fully beat it. Most Five Nights at Freddy's games are here because I bought them when they came out, because I was dumb back then, and I never played them, and I don't care now. Witcher 3, honestly, I don't know if it should probably be on the backlog. I put maybe 10 hours in that game like 2.5 years ago, and I never fully went back or did any more with it. So, but it is here for now. Sega Bass Fishing. Hey, I got that for free on Steam recently. You bought Shadow more than never played. It's really fun, especially if you like the Arkham games, and it has that whole Nemesis system that that team is, I think, Monolith. They're famous for, and it's really fun. I actually like it a lot. I wasn't able to fully see it through. Ignore the random like accents and typos here. It's kind of weird. That is autocorrect on my phone. But Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I played the original on 360, but then I ended up buying Ultimate on Steam later. Yeah, Witcher 3 is very fun. Such a huge time sink at the time. It wasn't the right time for me to play it, but I want to do like all the arcade routes in this game. That's why I haven't fully completed it, but I put a lot of time in it. Undertale, specifically the Genocide run. I've done the Pacifist run, I've done the Noma run, never the Genocide run. So I haven't done that, that's why it's there. Doom Eternal. I beat most of the main story like 2.5, no, that was like 2 years ago. I never did the DLC. And then I never did the final part of the game. I think it was because I moved to a new apartment, and to be honest, when that happens, it's a big life adjustment, and so like as a result, I just find that if I'm playing a game when I move, I like put it down. So like luckily with Tears of the Kingdom, I beat that like literally a week before I moved to this new apartment. So that worked out perfectly, otherwise I would not have finished that game. Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, I played the original back in the day. My friend gave me a key for this game for free, so that's why it's here. Sonic Lost World PC, kind of a similar thing. The original Half-Life, funnily enough, is one of my longest played games on Steam because I've tried so many times to play it and then put it down. I really like the game. You know, I mean, I love Half-Life 2, of course, I've beaten that. But Half-Life, the original, really fun, honestly. Like, I just never completed it. It's one of those games I'll pick up like once every couple of years and just see how far I can get through. You know, it's kind of that old, like, kind of charm to it, you know? And the Cryptid Necrodancer, fun game. I'm so bad at it, I couldn't get through it. But that's pretty much this list here. Like I said, in comments, let me know what you think, or live in chat, feel free to react. Never played Half-Life. Like any of the games, Half-Life 2 I would recommend. It's actually really fun. I mean, maybe it's a little outdated by today's standards for sure, but like at the time, it was revolutionary. All right. So now we got this whole chunk of a list. But you played Portal. Nice. Portal's great. Portal's phenomenal. Portal, I would say Portal's probably the better game than Half-Life, but Half-Life is still really fun. A lot of these games are on collections and stuff. So like you'll see a lot of Genesis games here. That's because I own Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection on Xbox 360. And that's where a lot of these games like Fatal Labyrinth, Super Thunderblade, some of these like Shinobi Arcade. So like for example, in order to unlock Shinobi Arcade in Ultimate Genesis Collection, you have to do a certain task in Shinobi 3. Like that's how that collection works. So that's why you'll see some of the lock symbols. Or like for example here with the Mega Man Anniversary Collection, which I also have on Xbox currently, in order to unlock, I believe this was like a spin-off fighting game, you have to like, I don't think it's fully beat Mega Man 7, but it's like get through a certain amount of it, and then this game will unlock in that collection. The less said about Echo, the better. Skyrim, I never put much time into. I loved Morrowind as a kid. Skyrim, I played for maybe 10 hours and I just put it down. It just wasn't the same thing for me. I love how broken Morrowind is. Skyrim in comparison is a broken game. It's a Bethesda game, but in different ways. I don't know. It wasn't as charming to me. But I'm sure if I gave it another chance at the right time, it'd be great. Pinata, here's Blinks. The only reason why Blinks is here instead of the main backlog is because I played the hell out of Blinks as a kid. I owned that game as a kid on the original Xbox. I lost that copy, I think at my grandparents' house at one point. And then I recently, like maybe within the last year, I bought another copy. But that's why it's here, because I played it a lot as a kid. I just haven't fully beaten it, so. There you go. House of Dead 2, very tough game. Could not get through that full thing. Some of the Shovel Knight, like free DLC side modes. The only one I've beaten, I mean the main game obviously, and Spectre of Torment I've also beaten, which is really fun. So there you go, another bunch of Genesis games. Hyrule Warriors, a lot of those adventure maps I never did, so that's why it's here. Sonic Free Riders, never beat the final level. I won't spoil it in case you care that much. SSX3, fun game, never fully completed it. There it is, Netto, Power Stone. Welcome to Power Stone World. The reason why it's labeled JP is because I only have the Japanese copy currently, because the English copies are stupid expensive. Jedi Power Battles, you know Jedi Power Battles? Where'd it go? Yeah, I love that on the Dreamcast. It's a fun game. And every time you collect the upgrade, it goes, you have the little Yoda laugh. Love that game. Played it with my brother all the time in co-op as a kid, but never fully beat it. It's a tough game. Galaxy 2 is a big one for me. I got about halfway-ish through Galaxy 2, never fully beat it. So that's a big no-no for me as well. I've been debating about if I want to stream that game at some point. That could be a fun game to stream too. Speedruns are in Japanese. For which game specifically? Rise of Dragon Soul? Thought you were the only idiot who played the game. No, no, now we know, Netto. We can bond over Star Wars Episode 1 Jedi Power Battle. Let's go. Oh, they're popular in Japanese. Okay. Ooh, Episode 1 Racer. Nice. Yeah, that's on my Switch backlog. It's a fun one. I never played it growing up as a kid, but like I got it on Switch now, and it's really fun with online too. But there's that group of games here. 3DS and Game Boy Advance. Not a ton here. Most of these are part of the Namco Museum collection, which I got with my most recent Game Boy Advance, so that's why you'll see the little GBA thing here. Pokemon Moon, I didn't do the post-game. I think I beat the main story, but didn't do the post-game. Pokemon Yellow, one of my most treasured childhood games, never beat. Never beat. Never got all 8 badges. The farthest I ever got, and I mentioned this story, I'll keep it a little short so this video doesn't go on forever, but the farthest I ever got was going to, I think it was it Cinnabon? No. It was the Seafoam Islands. And trying so hard to catch Articuno. I never caught Articuno, literally never could, and so I never advanced. I would not allow myself to advance in Pokemon Yellow unless I caught Articuno at the Seafoam Islands, and I never did. So, and that's why I loved Articuno. With the no connect patch, Free Ride is now playable. I've heard about that. That is tempting. You played Ultra Sun, nice Netto. You would have figured someone would have made a mod to make Free Riders playable. Yeah, no, someone did recently. So that's what I'd be curious to check that out. That's actually pretty cool. Last thing to mention here, some of the Fire Emblem games. I've mentioned this before. I'm not a big fan of Fates. Birthright was too easy. That's none of my completed games. Conquest is too hard. I got to the final boss and never beat it. Revelation, I just got tired. By the time I got maybe a third of the way, maybe halfway through that game, I just got tired and I stopped. And then Shadows of Valentia, really fun game. Also could not beat the final boss. That was really tough. But there's that. And then NSO. This is where I put almost all the NSO games that I want to play. But just, I'm not going to necessarily prioritize them. So I won't go through every one of these. But Pokemon Snap, I've never played. I want to check that out. No, well, I have 0. I wonder if I can count that now that I'm playing 99. X as well. I did stream a little bit of that, but I want to play more of the single player. GoldenEye, I want to play the campaign. I do want to. Yoshi's Island is probably, besides maybe Minish Cap, probably top of my list for NSO games to play, because I know I got to play Yoshi's Island Heard great things about it. It is up there. Even Mario and Luigi I've heard great things about, so that's there. Journey to Silius, heard very good things about that game. The soundtrack's a banger. Hey, Dewan, good to see you in chat. Hope you're doing well. You don't need the Pokemon Stadium games in there? Oh, that's fair. Yeah, I guess that's true. I was mainly thinking for the mini games, but I guess I could probably take those out. Punch-Out's one of those games I almost beat on 3DS Virtual Console, but I couldn't quite forget who I got stuck on, but I got stuck on somebody. Ghosts and Goblins, the less said, the better. A lot of these games I'll just throw on there if I have any vague interest, so this is a long list, so we're not going to go through everything here. Earthworm Jim, they've got a couple of them on NSO, I think. Trying to see if there's any other notable ones. Some Mario Karts. Blazing Blade. Okay, Blazing Blade I got about halfway through on Wii U Virtual Console. That was 2.5 years ago, almost 3. And never fully beat it. I just couldn't get through it. So that is one I want to play more of at some point. Paper Mario, I want to try out the OG one. Of course, you got 1000 Year Door coming to Switch next year. Star Fox 64 is also high up on that backlog list. One of these days. Shining Force I actually have played. And it's a fun game. It's a fun strategy RPG. Just didn't get very far, but a good amount of time put into that. Yep, that's the other Earthworm Jim. Warrior Land 3. I have played 4, but not 3, so I want to try 3 out. Altered Beast. Power up. What a game. Oh, the minigames of hell is fun, but the Pokemon Stadium thing is connected to... Yeah, so I can see why. So maybe I'll take those off the list. Anyways, I included them there just in case. So including all the NSO games, right? That includes all of those. Wait, does it? Yeah, it does, which accounts for like a good half of it. I've got 194 games on this list. So I've sorted out all the backlog games and put them on this list. Games that either I got for free or games like NSO that I'm vaguely interested in trying, but not a priority, or games that I've put a lot of time into, just never fully beat. Hey, Mercury, good to see you in chat. Hope you're doing well. Pulseman, yeah, Pulseman also is Game Freak, I believe. That one looked really cool when they added to NSO like a few months back, so I wanted to check that out. Anyways, that's that list, just to keep things going. This is the longest list, spoiler alert. These are all the games that I feel like I've had the satisfaction of completing. This video is going to be longer, unfortunately. It's going to be, whatever. So here we go. Switch games, we've got 60, woo! So looking at this list makes me feel less panicky about my backlog, because while it's almost half and half in terms of backlog compared to this, I have completed a lot more games. You know, it's more like 2/3 actually with this. It's on NSO. Postman, yeah, they added it not that long ago. You just woke up? Nice, Mercury. Well, hey, welcome to the world. Good to see you there. So in terms of completed games, like I mentioned earlier, Persona 5 Strikers, I really like that game. It's like a 50-hour action RPG, really like that. Breath of the Wild, I mentioned I never did all the side stuff in that game, but I still feel like I've completed it, you know? I'm probably never going back to that. I hate that Sonic Blast is here. One of the worst games ever made, man. Will the Wisp, phenomenal game. I streamed that last year. We got some of the Spyro Reignited trilogy games and the Crash Insane trilogy. Bayonetta 1 and 2, Crash 4, Shantae and the Seven Sirens. I streamed that last year. Most of the Mega Man X games are on here because, like I said, only X6 I did not beat. Technically, it's a Muso game, kind of. You wish NSO would just said Hybrid Heaven. Ooh, I've never heard of that. Let me know later, Huey, what that is. Yeah, Ori was great. I hesitate to call it Muso. Where is the music? What? I did not pause that video. Thank you. It's kind of like, yeah, in terms of the one you're thinking of, yes, it's the Muso game, but it's really more of an action RPG. It's not like Hyrule Warriors. It's way more of like an actual RPG, which is cool. It makes it stand out. Splatoon 3, I put that on here. Skyward Sword HD. Bayonetta Origins, despite how that ended up 100%ing. Nobody Saves the World. Sleeper hit, by the way. That is a phenomenal indie game. Same people who made Guacamelee. Very fun indie game that came out last year. I would highly recommend that if you're looking for a new indie recommendation. They came out with DLC earlier this year, late last year, I don't remember. Sonic Chaos, also kind of an okay game. No More Heroes 2, Huey. Love playing that game on Switch. That was great. Bayonetta 3, Star Allies. Legends Arceus didn't do all the side stuff in that game, but a lot of these games I haven't fully completed, but I feel like I have the satisfaction of feeling complete with the games, if that makes sense. No more Headaways 3, based on the accent placement there. Tears of the Kingdom. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Very nice game, very nice game. Shovel Knight Dig. Played that earlier this year. Really, you thought it was like a Hyrule Warriors? So, Neto, technically, yes, but it's not fully like a Warriors game. Huey knows what I'm talking about. It's like, it is kind of, but it's not fully to that. It's so hard to explain. Like, I would just recommend watching footage if you're at all curious. It's more an action RPG than anything. Nobody Saves the World is awesome. Oh, you've played Nobody Saves the World, Neto. Yeah, I love that game. That was so I got it for like a free code for winning trivia at one point, and I was so surprised by how much I loved it. Odyssey, of course. All the Bayonetta games are here. Forgotten Land. Age of Calamity. I never fully unlocked all the characters, but I pretty much did it. Pretty much did everything I wanted to. Prime Remastered. Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Lethal League Blaze. Another great game. Hey, Team Reptile's previous game before Bomber Cyberpunk. So if you're curious about some of their other games, that is a fun one. Dread, of course. I love Dread. Doom 2016. Banana Mania. Sonic Labyrinth. It was on Game Pass. Oh, very nice. That's cool. Yeah, so long list of games that I feel like I've completed on Switch, which reassures me a little bit. So Series X, probably not as much because I haven't had as much with it, but both Banjo games are here. Pac-Man World, Jet Set Radio. Oh, right, because this was backwards compatible with the XBLA version. So there's the radios there. I put Fall Guys on here. I know you can't really complete that game, but it's like, I feel complete. I'll stream it again at some point probably, but you know what I mean. There's not much more I want to do with that. SpongeBob Cosmic Shake. That's going to be on my top 10 favorite games of this year video later on, a spoiler alert. So there's that. I separated Klonoa 1 and 2. At least I thought I did. Yeah, there's Klonoa 2. Sonic 4, so 1 and 2. Hi-Fi Rush, of course, and Frontiers, which was the last character you unlocked in Age of Calamity. I guess it's been long enough to where I won't spoil. Well, no, maybe I did get Calamity Ganon, did I? Maybe I did unlock him. I unlocked the egg robot. I forget Terrico. Maybe I did get Calamity Ganon. Either that or that was the last one I was missing. Yeah, and Multiverses, man. It was fun. I enjoyed it, but then obviously it's been taken down for months now, and it's coming back sometime next year, supposedly. I don't know, man. That's kind of did that game dirty, but there's the Series X list. Steam Deck PC, there's going to be a good amount here. Oh, yeah. 51, look at that. I know, like I said, with Fall Guys Jackbox, you can't really complete. I feel like I've gotten my money's worth out of it. Okay, Calamity. Yeah, I feel like I unlocked Calamity Ganon, but it's been a while. Sorry, spoiler alert for Age of Calamity. I would go away if you're not interested. Doki Doki Literature Club, peak game right there. Peak gaming. I remember playing that game for the first time and thinking nothing of it, and then once the stuff actually started happening, I was like, oh shit. Crazy Taxi. Another game you don't really fully complete, but it's there. Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes. Huey, I think we had a discussion about this at one point. I don't think I fully did everything, but I feel like I'm done with that. Yooka-Laylee. I want to shout out Yooka-Laylee because so many people hate on this game. It is not a phenomenal Banjo-Kazooie spiritual successor, but as a game, it is good. It is a good game, and I'm tired of pretending it's not. Shantae Half Genie Hero, shout out to that. FNAF World, my favorite Five Nights at Freddy's game because it's not a stupid jump scare click and point game. It's an RPG, surprisingly, and I actually beat the full thing back in the day, so take it that as you will. Psychonauts, the first one, classic. Arkham Knight, it was a fun game. Of course, shout out to All Stars Racing Transformed. Both Portal games are here. Murder Sonic the Hedgehog earlier this year. I think all you do is finish the DLC. Yeah, which was the best boss in Travis Strikes Again, but it ties in No More Heroes. Yeah, I think you're right, Huey. I missed out on that, so thank you for reminding me. Keep talking, Nobody Explodes. Another game you can't really fully complete, but it is there. Sonic Mania, of course. Bastion. Oh, I love Bastion. Phenomenal game. Bastion's so good. One of my favorite indie games I've played. Risky's Revenge is also there. Most of the Shantae games are here. Worms Armageddon. I put that on here because I played it a ton on the Dreamcast as a kid. Croc 2, one of my favorite childhood games here. Cuphead. I think I've fully beaten Cuphead at this point, pretty much. Sonic Forces, the less said the better. Pirates Curse, there it is. Gotham Knights. Shout out to my friend Jared. We played that December last year. I think we fully beat the story, so there was that. And then the original Five Nights at Freddy's, I actually did fully beat back in the day. It's the only one I did. The only one I got enjoyment out of, so. There we go. And then AVG and Adventures 1 and 2 are on here, so. Back when I still watched AVG and haven't watched it in a while. You're never going to reach DLC content for Cuphead. The game itself is brutal, and then the DLC is also pretty brutal. You did remember a few games there, but now you no longer enjoy the games you used to play. Oh, you played Worms Armageddon Mercury? That's sick. And Half-Life 2? Yeah. Not bad, not bad. But yeah, no, we've been over this. I know you don't enjoy them as much, but that's cool that you played those games. Glad I'm not the only person who ever played Worms Armageddon. It's a classic. All right, now we got this lump of consoles here. This is going to be a lot because I played a lot of games as a kid. Yeah, it's a good amount, as much as Steam there. Let's notice a lot of Lego games on here. A lot of these games I played as a kid. You also notice Game of the Year, Game of the Century, Mary, Kate, and Ashley, Sweet 16, License to Drive. It's a good game. If you're actually curious, it's a Mario Party clone. Back then when you were a kid, yeah, same with me. Wind Waker HD, 3D Blast, Secret Rings, no, 3D Blast isn't terrible. Black Knight's a little better. We got Brawl, Twilight Princess, Woolly World. I beat that for the first time earlier this year. So that was there. Maria, right there. Prime 3 I beat last year for the first time. So some of these games are recent. Miss Pac-Man Maze Madness I fully beat. That was another childhood game on the Dreamcast for me, but that was just this year that I beat that. So I guess that was more recent. Arkham Origins, better game than most people like to let on. Mario Maker Just a Radio Future. That was also a last year game for me. What about Cory in the House? I was never a Cory in the House kid. I never played is the DS game the really popular one to me, Mom? I never played that. Spectre Torment, I mentioned that earlier. Shrek Super Party, another Mario Party clone. You know, I noticed as a kid, I played a lot of Mario Party clones, but not actual Mario Party. Make of that as you will. The original Mario Galaxy's here. Go. Dave Mirror BMX for the Dreamcast, the classic. Star Fox Zero was my first Star Fox game, and I beat it. It was fun. I had a fun time. Honestly, as a first Star Fox game, it's actually not bad because then you don't have other games to compare it to. Original Splatoon, Prime 2. There it is. See, DK Country Returns. I told you. I beat that game many years ago. It's just Tropical Freeze I have to get to. GoldenEye on the Wii, It was kind of like a pseudo remake of the 64 game. It was okay. I beat the campaign. It was okay. Of course, Arkham Asylum and City, some of my favorite games ever. The original No More Heroes I had on Wii. Zero Mission on Wii U Virtual Console. They're going to add it to NSO at some point soon. Sonic Colors, Wii, the inferior version. I'm going to throw that out there. Then 3D World. Marvel Ultimate Alliance that came with our Family 360. But there we go. That's that group. Sorry, this video is going to be so long. I'm so sorry. So I'm trying to speed through some of these. The best video about Mario Party is the Scott DeWaz analysis. I think I saw the video. I don't think I watched it. But I saw that he made the video. The handheld group. This is also going to be a ton because growing up, I played a lot of handheld. So we got Link Between Worlds at the top of this list where it belongs. Probably my favorite top-down 2D Zelda game. Hollow Justice, like I said, that was pretty recently. Croc 2 on Game Boy Color as well. Another good version of it. Sonic Rush Adventure, very good. 3D Land was fun. Triple Deluxe, great. Of course, the Ace Attorney games are here. Twilight Princess Picross, best Zelda game right there. Only WarioWare game I've played because I got it, I think, for free on DSi where I had a sale on it or something. So there's that. The original Shantae. Some of the classic Mega Mans I had on 3DS. Ocarina Majora 3D. Where's Sonic Battle? Oh, good point. I don't think I'm counting it here, Neto, because I sold the cartridge. It's one of the, like, literally, Neto, I'm not gonna lie, like, I try to, like, at least own almost every Sonic game. And every time I would go through my Game Boy Advance games, I would see Sonic Battle, and I would say, why is this here? And so I eventually sold it. That is why it is not on this list. Like, no joke. 3D. Really? Okay, Huey, I'm of the opposite opinion. I actually like 3D more. 3D made me love Majora's Mask, but hey, it's cool that different versions we can have different opinions, right? That's Kid Icarus 2 right there, the Game Boy game. Samus Returns, interesting. Game of the Year, Temple of the Frog, Frogger's Adventures. It's okay. Got it for like $3. Awakening, love that game. DK Jungle Climber, that was my jam back in the day. Sonic Battle took me 1 year to beat, same with Rush Adventure. See, Rush Adventure is a much better game than Sonic Battle, though. There's a fan game, Sonic Fighters, called Sonic Smackdown. Ooh, very cool. I feel like maybe I've seen footage of that. That sounds cool. Four Swords, this was my first Zelda game, by the way. Four Swords Anniversary Edition. I know it's a weird one to start with, but that was my first Zelda game. Colors DS, the superior version right there. Kid Icarus Uprising, Planet Robobot, great Kirby game. There's Birthright. Sonic Advance games are on here. Dark Brotherhood, the RPG from BioWare in the DS. So there's that list. This video is going to be so long. Oh my goodness. And then finally, we've got some NSO here. So these are games that are on NSO that I've beaten pretty much on other platforms. I don't know if I've really beaten any games on NSO, but Dynamite Headdy, Treasure Game on the Genesis. I wasn't as much of a fan of that as other people were. Lost Levels is objectively terrible. I hate that game. Oracle Seasons, there's that one. Of course, the DK Trilogy, I ended up streaming over time. Mario Advance, that was like my first Mario game growing up on the Game Boy Advance. Kirby 64, Mario Land 2, great game. Original Zelda, bad game. Oh, sorry. Who said it? Huh? Super Metroid, Mario 64, Yoshi's Story was okay. Rystar is fun. I like Rystar a lot. Rystar's a fun Genesis game. Link to the Past, inferior to Link Between Worlds. Lost Levels is complicated. I know. Not a fan. Phantasy Star 4. I'm not a big RPG guy, but I played this at one point on that collection that I mentioned, the Ultimate Genesis collection. One of my favorite RPGs that I have played, turn-based RPGs. It's actually a really fun RPG. Like, I would recommend if you're a fan of turn-based RPGs and never played Phantasy Star, give 4 a shot, because 4 is really fun. 3 I've also tried, didn't have as much fun with it. But like generally the consensus is that 4 might be like the best of the quadrilogy, I guess, before they did online. The original Metroid 2, Superstar, Kirby's Adventure, one of my favorite Kirby games. Dreamland, classic. Freaking Echo the Dolphin, the less said there, the better. Link's Awakening, classic. Fusion, great game. And of course, gotta end the list with another great game being Super Mario World, probably my favorite 2D Mario, if not one of my favorite Marios of all time. That is the completed games list. Total here is 264. So now when I take this number, 264, and I look at my backlog number of 134, it's pretty much a 2-to-1 ratio. So that makes me feel so much better. Because I'm always worried. I'm like, 134 games is still a lot, but I'm always like, oh my God, there's so many games in my backlog. But when I look at the list of games I have actually beaten, I'm like, okay, 2-to-1 is not terrible. The thing is, a lot of these games are games that I've acquired, especially in the last 10 years. And a lot of those games I've completed are like games I beat when I was a kid. So that's the one thing I gotta watch out for. That's why I'm trying to slow down with games I'm buying now, because I'm worried I'm gonna get to a point where it's like a 1-to-1 ratio and then I'm really screwed. The problem with Lost Levels, it was made as a continuation from Mario Brothers, so it's first world, supposed to be World 9. True, yeah, and that made it just so much more difficult as a result. So yeah, just not a fan of that game, but the original I thought was much better. But anyways, this video's been long. I know it's been long. It's probably been, hell, I think it's been, has this video been almost an hour? I can't tell based on the stream here, but it's been long. Anyways, I appreciate you sticking through this whole thing if you did. I really just enjoyed looking through here. It took me a while, like I said, when I was moving to a new apartment to kind of get these lists together. And I like what I have now. Like I said, looking at this backlog, it makes me feel a little bit better. Today it would be DLC. That's true. It probably would, but you're right. You know, looking at these now, it makes me feel better, but I still have too many games on my backlog. I mean, 134 games that I feel like I haven't really put much time into. That's a lot of games, you know? And this is going to take me years and years and years and years to get through, because being a working adult who works full time, it's like I don't have a ton of time to play all these games, so. No worries, Mercury. Thanks for being here. Goes into Papa Was a Rolling Stone. Oh, that's a classic. Papa was a Rolling Stone. Thanks, Mercury. Thanks for being here. Anyways, just to wrap this video up so it's not super duper like, extra long, this was fun to look through, you know? And I hope any of you watching live, or if you're watching when I make this a separate video, you know, hopefully you got a kick out of some of the games that I haven't played. Let me know in the comments below if there are any specific games that, you know, you want to ridicule me for not completing, or games that, you know, if there are certain games you want me to prioritize, let me know, because I will actually consider that in terms of like when I have time. I'm getting to a point now where there's not a ton more games coming out. The only ones now are like Sonic Superstars and Mario RPG this year. There aren't a ton of new games coming out that I want to play immediately. So I'm actually at a good point now where I'm going to start to tackle more of my backlog. So definitely let me know in the comments, or if you're live here in the chat now, if there are any games I should prioritize on this list. I'll definitely consider that. But with that, thank you so much for watching. I will catch you all in the next video live stream. And until then, take care.